Hi girls and boys, it's Yaya, and I have another fun, interesting experiment to do today with just some things you might have around your house, hopefully. So what you will need for this experiment is vegetable oil, any kind of vegetable oil, an empty jar, a clear jar, Alka seltzer, and water, and food coloring. And if you want, a flashlight when we get later in the experiment. So what you're going to do first is take your empty jar and you're going to add the vegetable oil. And you're going to fill it about 3/4 of the way full. So I was never very good with fractions, but I do know this is half, and then we probably need half of this half to make 3/4. So maybe right about there. So I'm going to pour that in. Fortunately, this is one of those experiments that doesn't have to be exact. So there we go. And you can observe that for a minute. I see some bubbles, teeny tiny bubbles kind of coming up. Right. And then the next thing we're going to use the water and add it till it's about full. And it's kind of fun to watch this as you do it. You can see it's not mixing, is it? The water has formed little bubbles down at the bottom. Pretty cool.
It must be heavier than the oil.
You think so? Yeah, maybe, Pops. Look at that. So, you observe that for a minute. Then we're going to get our trusty food color out again. And you can be pretty generous with it when you're doing this experiment. It'll make it a little more interesting. So we're going to add some blue. Now what do you think is heavier, the oil or the food coloring? Well, the food coloring did go to the bottom. So what do you think, Pops?
I think the food coloring must be heavier than the oil.
Alright, now we're going to add some green food coloring. Oh, some of it's kind of exploding down there, huh? I like to watch them fall down to the bottom. And a little yellow too. The yellow looks like orange. Well, I feel like. Let's see. Okay, so Pops made a prediction. He whispered to me. He said he thinks it's all going to mix up and turn brown. But I don't know. Okay, so now I'm going to get out the Alka seltzer. And this is something I want to do with a grown-up, because this is medicine for when your tummy hurts. You're going to break it up into little pieces, 4 or 5 pieces. It'll make the experiment go longer. Now, if you want to pause the video right now and think, what's going to happen when we put the Alka seltzer in there? Okay, did you guys make some guesses? All right, I'm going to start. I'm going to drop in the first piece of Alka seltzer, and we'll see what happens. Oh, wow. I see a little bubbles, and then they come back down. How cool. I do see some blue and green, but maybe as it goes, it might all mix up and be brown. We'll have to see. Wow, that's pretty cool. And you can hear it too, fizzing. always wonder why some of the bubbles are little and some are small. Let's see them floating back down. Okay, and then once it kind of settles down again, that's when you can add another piece of Alka seltzer. Here goes. And you can, for added effect, use a flashlight. Should I turn the other light off, Pops?
Yes.
All right, hold on just a second, boys and girls. Turn this light on. And it's kind of like something called a lava lamp from back in the day. A lot of fun. And you can ask yourself some questions. What's heavier? What's lighter?
Can I add another piece too?
Sure, Pops. You can also wonder, why does the Alka-Seltzer make the water bubbles pop back up to the top?
That's kind of cool right there.
Right, let's add 2 pieces at a time. Maybe it'll be bubbling super fast. Whoa. Yeah, and bigger bubbles too. See that? I added 2 pieces that time. You guys can create some of your own variations of this experiment and see what you observe.
Back the light on a little bit. Keep going. That's pretty cool.
And I must say, I don't see any brown Pops.
You're right. I don't see any brown either.
I'm not gonna say I was right or anything, but we can all observe.
And know who was right. That's right. Yaya was right again. It's almost like she's the teacher and I'm the cameraman.
Well, I gotta be honest, I was a little nervous that it was gonna turn brown. Yeah. Okay, wasn't that fun? I could do that all day long. One last thing you can do, if you have a lid to your jar, you put it on there really tight. You might want to let Mom or Dad observe this. You might want to do it in your kitchen. I'm going to try and be careful and do it in here. You can shake that up. And then you can see how long it takes for it to separate again. And you can make guesses like, I'm going to guess 15 minutes. Pops, what are you going to guess?
It's going to take quite a while. You really mixed it up good.
So what's your guess?
I'm going to say a half hour.
Okay, so right now it is 5 minutes to 4. So we will come back and let you know how long it took for it to separate. Boys and girls, I forgot to mention, before you do that last step of the experiment by putting the lid on and shaking it up, make sure that the Alka-Seltzer that you've been putting in is done bubbling. So you have to wait till the bubbling completely stops before you put the lid on and shake it up, because it'll build up pressure and it might break the glass or blow the top off, and that's not going to be good. I don't want your mom and dad to be mad at us. So make sure that before you put the lid on and shake it up. And we'll get back to you and tell you how long it took for the oil and the water to separate. Boys and girls, this is about 30 minutes later. It still hasn't completely separated. We'll come back in a little bit.